Hi everyone, my name is Yamio and welcome to one of my tutorials. This time we're going to focus on Chibis, which was chosen by my lovely Patreons, and without them I wouldn't even be able to have the time to focus on making tutorials. So thank you all to you guys. Shout out, just love send you. If you also want to help me and support me on Patreon and get access to YouTube videos months before anyone else, vote for different tutorials, sometimes get the specific brush settings out from me, just when you ask for it, feel free to support me and I'll leave the link below. So just check it out if you're interested and you want to see me keep creating content, tutorials, and speed paints for you guys. Okay, so to start off, when it comes to chibis, there are so many different types of chibis out there, and there's no really right or wrong way to do chibis. It's a lot about style and what you want to do with your chibis, what you want to achieve and you propose. Because some people want the chibis to be the most cutesy thing ever, and some people want them to be cool or badass, or some people will make adoptables like myself need a chibi body that's able to promote clothing or different designs, or somebody that loves action scenes or over exaggerated styles like that are more cartoony, like for example this cutesy styles and bigger hands and big feet and legs and arms that are as thin as noodles and things like that. But I'll try to teach you guys how I do chibis personally and some tips and tricks how to do them and what to think of and things like that. So to start with, we'll go to this other page that I made for you guys with different chibis that I've done this year, and I'm going to talk a little about them so you guys can get an understanding. So this one in the middle here is my most common chibi style. It's probably what I'm most known for, and it's small feet and pretty big thighs and proportional body. Like the body is kind of the same in proportions to a normal full body anime drawing, except that the head is like way bigger and the shapes of her anatomy is way rounded off and more cutesy and softer. And as you can see at this chibi, this is an advertisement on my Patreon page, so ignore the thing in the top. But as you can see, I make really tiny feet, and this kind of chibi style, just like this one, is just very stylized in my personal taste and the way I do things and how my hand naturally draws, but is definitely not the most ideal if, for example, you want to do adaptables or show off designs. So that's why I'm going to move on to the left chibi here and tell you guys the pose of it. So this is an adaptable that I made. She's based on Empire Apple and Red Squirrel, and as you can see, her feet are definitely bigger, her thighs are not as over exaggerated, and basically her body proportions are more how you say human. Like she has hips, she has like a waist and all those things, and this is to be able to show you guys a design that I'm creating, because on this character here, on this design, it's harder to show off. For example, if you would have a lot of detail on her shoe or something, it's really hard to show off because of her tiny feet. But in this one, when I make the feet bigger, it's easier to make more accurate shoes and show if it's high heels or flat shoes or things like that. So when it comes to chibi styles, you also need to think of what you want to achieve. And with both of these styles, they're not supposed to be the overly super cute styles. They're more like just my personal taste, I guess. And when it comes to other styles, like a more stylized and more cutesy, for example this one, I made this a quick sketch just trying out the style some months ago, inspired by Pammy on DeviantArt. And it's like way bigger feet that are less shaped, and tiny arms and big head, and make the hair really big and stuff like that to get an exaggerated look. Or you can draw Chibis like this, which is the same character. It's my character Yami, and it's more if you are into, for example, doing comics or things like that, or love to do expressions. This is like a more loose style where you just draw what you feel and expressions, and like the flowy parts is what take over. So this is not about being cute or anything like that, or trying to make things beautiful or stylized. It's more like do a lot your feelings. And here we go to this one. This one is the same style, and this one is a little more semi chibi because she has like lots of curves and things like that. But it's basically just me drawing in this style, and yeah, it's more developed, and I'm still trying, you know. I always try new things like that. And this style is more really cutesy style. So now we go back to that. What do you want with your chibis? So this style is not focusing on expressions, not focusing on especially like angry or like dramatic poses or action or something like that. It's more focusing on the cutesy. Like even if she would be angry or sad, she would still look adorable. Like that's the purpose of this style, to make it look tiny and cute. As you can see, I basically almost took away her feet, like the non-existent, just little stumps. So they're cute, and super tiny hands and a rather big head and big hair that is over exaggerated to create the ultimate cute look, and a tiny mouth. So now when you're probably thinking what chibi styles that suits you, I'm sure you can like try to use my art as a like reference what you think you want yourself, and then you can start to think about what is that makes a character the most appealing for you. So now I'm going to go into more detail about how to go about your chibis. So if you look at the general chibi here, when it comes to my style, my current style is that I have rather big eyes. Oh gosh, my pen pressure is destroyed again. But I have rather big eyes, and it's something that you need to think about if you want a really cutesy style. And the head is in proportion with the body. Basically, the head is almost or as big as the body. Like her body, like you can say, it starts at the shoulders or torso, and it stops like where her body or torso ends. Then her legs are basically the same. So it's head, torso, and from torso down to legs, and it's like 3 parts. It's like whoop, whoop, whoop. And my chibis, this is the proportion of my chibis. So basically 3 heads big. So I think actually applies for all my chibi styles. Let's see, we can try on this one. Here's the head, and here's the torso, and I think her legs are slightly smaller than what I usually do, but it's still kind of the same. As you can see, the chibi proportions is still 3 heads, and I think that works pretty well. Here's the torso, and here she has very long legs, this one though, but it's still kind of how it looks like. So if you're insecure about your chibi proportions and you like the way I do chibis, you can always check if they're around 3 heads. If you go out for your own chibi face head and see if it's around 3 heads big, and then you know it's pretty good proportion. And now I'm also going to teach you a little trick that I have when it comes to how to draw chibi bodies, because I know a lot of you guys struggle with it. And the way I do it, or the way I started to do it, I'm going to show you guys an old picture. Well, I'll show you guys just a new picture instead. So before I started to do chibis, I always drew these kind of creatures before. It's fan characters from the anime show Keroro Gunso, and I always drew just frogs all day long, and many of my characters are still like humanoid versions of the frogs today. Basically all of them. But as you can see, the way I do chibi bodies and the way I do frogs are not too different, because it was from here it developed. Basically, I just changed the round head to a chibi head, and that's how I started basically to learn how to do chibis. But as you can see with this body here, just merge it for you guys, is that it has a certain shape. Oh gosh. Temperature is back suddenly. And it has a bean shape. Basically, this is always how I think of chibis. They have a bean body, and basically, like, the torso is always the smallest part when it comes to my chibis, and then it's like round, and it's like a bean. Like, this is the front, and the legs basically work the same way, like a bean. It looks like a chicken now. But a bean and a bean. Kind of. I'm trying to make beans here to show my point, but it's kind of like a bean. It works the best for the body. So, I'm going to show you. For this one, it will go like this. Imagine it's still a bean. So I make bean shapes for my characters when I started out. Nowadays, I don't think of it as a bean anymore. I think of it like a hips, waist, and everything. And then when you're done with the bean shape, you can just erase the round parts and then like add legs to it. And that's basically my biggest secret or tip when it comes to creating chibi bodies, is to think of it as a bean always, because I think it works pretty well in most scenarios. And think of it all as round shapes. The harder shapes you make and more angular you make your art, the less cute it will look. But it can be more stylized, and everything does not need to be cute. You can still make amazing chibis without the cute factor, or just make it like something truly unique. I see many edgy chibi styles that are just so gorgeous. So don't be afraid to like not do the generic type of cuteness. And when it comes to legs, like I showed you here on this character, let's see if I just draw her hips kind of little low down. There we go. When I do the legs, I usually, when I have trouble with them, I make like round shapes to help me on the way, and then be like, here's the knees, and then I make round shapes again, and then I try to form them to legs. But it depends on what kind of legs you do. And this is more if you're the beginner type. Eventually, you will just feel it yourself, and you can just like sketch out the basic shapes and then add details to it. But even when it comes to chibis, like I said before, it's all about style and everything. So there's tons of different styles. Like this one is the most close to real anime normal drawings, because she has like shape on her legs and everything, and pretty medium-sized feet. But on this one, she has like really huge thighs, and then the thighs doesn't really go normally together with her calves, because they are way tinier, and it just becomes tinier and tinier down to her feet that are like super tiny. So when it comes to legs, there's so many different ways you could do it. You can make like thick legs, and then make them go down like a super tiny feet. You can make more like this one, and it will be more like a common anime leg. And you can make like this, like everything is basically the same roundness and more cutie style. If you think of Astro Boy and things like that, and you can make basically it's like stick style, like I did on the chibi down here, and yeah, like there's so many ways you can draw Chibi legs and the way you want it. And you can see if I do like the same kind of shoe on all of them, how different it becomes. And that's why it's important to know what kind of Chibi style you like and everything, because it will change the way it looks completely. And the same way I talk here is basically the same goes um the arms. Like this one are more like common. Like I said, like a normal anime version, but more tinier, of course. While these ones are more curvy and over exaggerated. Um, and just like the legs, and but I tend to make the hands as big or if not bigger than the feet on this style. And on this style I made it like super lanky, more cartoonish, and then tiny hands and stuff. So it's the same for that thing. And like when you do like when you draw legs and things like that, you have to like remember how legs in real life work and then stylize it from that. So you don't like put the knee up here and then super long calves or something, because then it looks unproportional. Just like Peridot from Steven Universe before she took off her suit. Like her knees, if you know who Peridot is, guys. Otherwise you can Google her. But her knees stopped here, and this is like her thighs. And then her calves were like this big. Like I'm over exaggerating maybe, but basically like this. And it still looked okay because it was stylized, but it definitely was not like human proportions, because that's not how human proportions work. And her real legs were inside and kind of like this. And this is more better proportion than this. But like I said, if you want to stylize and you manage to make it look good like they did with Peridot in the show, try it out. Like, don't be afraid. But if you want to like try to do it how I do, then try to make it proportional. And yeah, the same goes for hands, as I said before. These hands are bigger than the feet, and here's the hands, definitely way smaller than the feet. Here they are kind of a little smaller than the feet, and it goes like around, and here they are the same size, if not the feet are smaller too here. And some people will do like really big hands, and once again like it can be really cute, like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and all those. So once again, don't be afraid, there's many different ways to do it. And like I told you guys before about the hair, there's so many different hairstyles out there, and it also depends on your style. But if you want really cutesy things, then you want things to be round and not too many details. Basically, the less details you do, like in terms of like hair strands and stuff, and you make it like rounder, it will look softer and more cutesy and innocent somehow. And it's just because like the human brain automatically they want to care for things that are small, round, and cute, because it's our instincts to take care of babies. Whether or not you like babies, it is in our instincts. And so if you make things like really big and round and cute, then it goes really well with the cutesy style. If you like more detailed stuff, it might not look as cute, but it can still look pretty if you stylize it. As you can see, I try to minimize it to still keep a like a round, like cutesy look. But there are many ways, like you can draw tons of hair strands and stuff, but it tends to bring out the more serious side of the character than having a more rounded, cutesy shape of the hair. And so to demonstrate for you, so you guys don't feel like I'm leaving you with nothing, I'll just demonstrate how I do a Chibi and my thought process. So let's see, I'll just do some really easy eyes here. I'm trying to draw as fast as I can so you guys don't have to wait. Don't mind the weird eyes here. Okay, So Chibi usually have a rather big forehead to bring out the cutesy, more childlike look. Because when we are small, our eyes look way bigger because our head is smaller, and our forehead usually looks really big too. And a big forehead looks useful and cutesy. And when I come to this part, I usually go inwards and then outwards to create those round, pinchable cheeks. Kind of nervous and drawing and talking at the same time though. Okay, and to add to the cutie factor, I always add blush because that's a must. I'm sorry. Cutesy mouth. Many things that people do like that takes away from the cutesy factor is that they put the nose too far down and like the mouth down here, and it just looks not as cute, and the proportion looks wrong basically. And we have a shin, and like this is where the shin is, and from here somewhere should the mouth be, and somewhere here the nose should be. Like the higher up the nose is usually cuter, but you don't want to like in between the eyes unless they're like looking up or something to give the illusion that they're looking up. But then you should have the eyes further down, higher down. Higher down. What is that? Higher up. So I usually put like the nose a little like almost between the eyes, like in the bottom here. So if you imagine if they have glasses, you should be able to go just here, like you do normally. And then, like I said, some people draw the mouth way too far down or like way too high up. But as higher as possible is usually the cutest. The cutesy factor. And when it comes to ears, some people like to do really big ears, some people like to do really small ears, but try to keep it proportionate so it still keeps the cuteness and roundness. Don't dare to flip it, yeah, look at it. Okay, and when it comes to the throat, you can like do a really wide throat, but then it would just look like a full body anime picture, but with a chibi face, look really awkward. So I like really small, small throats, throats. So they look like in proportion and vulnerable, and like the head looks way bigger the smaller throat is, but you don't like want a stick throat. And some people erase this part too, but this is if you want a more cutesy factor, because then when you remove the shin, the face looks rounder and cuter. And when it comes here to the torso, like I said, I do the bean effect basically, so I'll just do my regular style here. I do like a V, but you cut this part off because here's the throat, so if you can get me. So an upside V or bean, and then I usually do like this because this is like a V too, but more curved. And as you want shoulders, I usually just do like two little bumps, like outside here to represent shoulders, and then down here to do some collarbone if you want. I just started to do that recently, so it's definitely not something you need to do. And it looks more cutesy without it because, once again, rounder, more pinchable, it's cuter. And when it comes to legs, like I said, round shapes and cutesy, small legs. tiny feet, and you can make a pose. They're just taking the leg to the side. Yeah. And like I said, the same goes for arms. It's like you go to the elbow and then you make a rounded shape and put the chibi hands. And then you can like refine things that you might think look odd. And a little belly button. And this is basically how I do at least one of my chibi styles. Like I said or showed you guys before, I had quite plenty different styles that I fluctuate between and try to develop. And then when you do the hair, I'll just do Yami's hair, my own character, so you guys can see. But like, it's the cuter, the less hair strands you do. So this is like her bangs. She has like V bangs like this, and here comes like she has roses and everything here. And ribbons, but I won't pay attention to that this time. And then she has pigtails, and as I said, if you want it really cutesy, you should not like have many hair strands and details, so you just like be like this, and it will look like something creamy or something like that, as you can see. But if you make more hair strands, you can make more details, more dramatic pictures and things like that. So it really depends what you're going for. If you're going for something super cute and easier to draw, definitely go with the thicker hairstyle. But if you want more detail and like you're focusing on like illustrations with chibis that I occasionally do, definitely go for a more hair strandy look. It will still have its own charm and stylization, so yeah, you guys understand. And when it comes to clothing, basically I think you can do the clothing the same way as you do hair. Either you do it real detailed or real simple. So as you guys know, she has or some of you know, she has her typical PMS outfit, and this is like really how do you say, simplified and cutesy. As you can see, it's rounder and it's more like cartoony-ish and simplified. It is great when you do comics and things like that. You don't want to take much time. Otherwise, like you do more wrinkles and things like that. But I will cover that in another tutorial. So I hope you understand what I mean, and I hope this tutorial was helpful for you in some ways. Please leave a comment what you think about it, and what kind of tutorials you are interested to see in the future, and if you felt like there's something more I could cover in the Chibi tutorial. If you have any questions, I will leave a link below to my Ask FM, where you can ask questions about basically anything, and I'll try to answer them like once, twice a week and things like that, because I cannot possibly attend to every YouTube comment, and some of you guys don't even have replies enabled, so I can't even answer them. I'm sorry, but I read everything and I see everything on my phone. So thank you all for all the comments, support, and see you soon. Bye.